Hey guys, how's it going and welcome to the Minute Channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that I've been thinking for some time, but the other day one of the viewers here, I think it's Jenna, that's her name, she commented something that just kind of triggered me to kind of actually make this video. And this is regarding the way they make social links or confidants and the relationship to the tarot cards they are representing. For example, well, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. So this will gonna be in two separate directions. One, the actual social link and the writing and everything like that, and the other aspect is gonna be pertaining to something a little bit different here. So one of my bigger concerns, or one of the biggest things, is when you I don't know if you ever noticed, but most of these groups of characters when it comes to Persona 3, 4, and 5 are fairly similar in a sense that they almost fall into a formula. That's something that I don't actually like quite a lot. It actually bothers me quite a bit. Typically you will have your best friend, who is the magician, the Arcana magician, then you have the love interest, who is the lovers, then you have this rich girl who is famous or something like that, the empress, and then you have okay, so you get the idea of what I'm saying, right? There is these people that fall into the same category in every game: Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. That bothers me a lot, because when you put a specific character into a tarot card, what you're doing is you're basically setting up not only a stereotype, but you're also setting up a character that is only locked into specific things, and it doesn't really allow it to grow in specific areas. Now, that being said, Persona 5 or Persona in general has had really good writing when it comes to characters. Characters can feel almost alive in a sense because they feel relatable. There's a lot of good stuff that you cannot feel like you match into them, and it does feel like they are really well written characters. However, my thing on that end is because you're putting the tarot card into them, almost feels like every character has to have this particular scenes or this particular stuff to, and it almost makes them feel like Persona 3, 4, and 5 feel so similar in a lot of aspects. Yusuke is extremely similar to Ryuji, and or you know, so and so, or the lovers Arcana and so on. They almost feel like these characters feel like super similar written, and they almost feel like the group that you're hanging out with it's almost the same in Arcana values and so on like that. So my biggest thing for this is I would like to either them to change the Arcanas around you, around the fool, around the main character, in a sense that they have a completely different group of Arcanas hanging out with you, and you can still have the other Arcanas around and you can still do the social links with other ones. But I would just like to have maybe not a lover's character in your party, maybe something else, maybe not an empress in your party, maybe somebody else. This will allow for writers to kind of write new characters with new elements into your party that feel more different, but also the chemistry between them will change overall, because again the chemistry and the characters feel almost the same because they were written in a similar aspect, because they fall into the Arcanas that they are made into. That is again the issue that I have with the Arcana system, if you want to call it that, because it does fall into the same stereotypes and into the same stuff. Now don't get me wrong, every character is unique and it does have unique qualities, because every person in reality have different qualities. However, the same thing can be said to things like Cancer or a Leo or anything like that. There's this series of stereotypes that fall into each individual person in general. That's why I don't like the horoscopes or anything like that, because it's almost the same thing again as the tarot cards. It just falls into these stereotypes, into these things, into these little boxes. Why box a character when you want to think outside of the box? You know, that when you want to have the character be able to be anything you want to become, because you, the writer, have the power to write the character you want. That's why again I don't like the way the tarot cards work, because it's almost like a series of things about the characters that are already written pretty much, you know. Well, moving into that aspect, the other aspect that I would like is the way the party members join into your group, or that dynamic going all together, how the individuals can join together. Now Persona 3, 4, and 5, and even Persona 1 and 2 and many RPGs fall into this same issue. Now what it is and what happens usually is this: the party members usually start with 2 or 3 people, maybe 4 even, and as they're getting to know each other, there is a point where the story moves forward, and then they meet new people, and the people join the party, and then next the story happens, and another part of the let's say you unlock a different part of the dungeon, or you move into the next dungeon, and what happens? You already know another person is going to join your party. Then you move on to the next part of the story, another dungeon, and another person is going to join your party. This happens particularly and remarkably similar in Persona 1, 2, I'm sorry, Persona 3, 4, and 5, but again it's similar in 1 and 2 as well. Now, this is a dynamic that works well in a lot of RPGs. Really, this happens in hundreds of RPGs. New party members get added as the story progresses. That's a really natural thing to happen. However, my issue with that is it does almost feel formulaic as well. For example, in Persona 4, when you keep rescuing these people, you 100% know the next person is going to join your party. You know, even if you haven't looked at the opening scene, and if you haven't seen the artwork, and you never heard of Persona 4, the moment that you know you go and rescue Rise or Kanji or any of the characters, you know they're going to be joining your party. You know they're the next person in your party. You 100% know that. That, again, takes away the kind of the experience of knowing new characters in a more dynamic way. I don't know, maybe these characters, you met them outside of the school or something like that, and kind of the story kind of involves into it, and they end up joining your party. I don't know. There's many different ways to go around doing that. I just feel like the writing team really fell into a formula, and I'm just tired of the formula. The formula doesn't really need to be done 100% all the time the same way, and I really would like for Persona 6 to go away from that dynamic. It's not a good, I don't think it's a perfect formula, and again, it does end up feeling really samey over and over again. It feels like it's overdone at this point. Anyway, that is pretty much in this discussion video here today. Well, let me know in the comments below, what would you like to see if they change the tarot system, or if they change what I just talked about just now in the formula. What would you like the dynamic to be like? What would you like to see different? Anyway, if you're new, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time.